This has been a real hot button topic around the NBA Twitter sphere and just discourse. Max asks, do you think anything needs to be changed with the current All-Star weekend, whether that be the game itself, the weekend as a whole, etc.?
Yes, multiple things. One, I think we need to start putting people that love basketball on the broadcast.
Oh, yeah. W take.
It really dejected me hearing Kenny Smith's comments after Sabrina and Steph went head to head. Wow, I was astonished. I was
Insane.
I was at my work. We were watching the 3-point contest. It was a little slower, so I could actually watch Sabrina and Steph go head to head. The energy in the building was great. Everybody was glued to the TV watching Sabrina shoot, and you could tell it was awesome. It made my day as a basketball fan watching Sabrina drain those threes. It was freaking awesome. I loved every second of that. I was like, finally, dude. She put up 26, man. What else do you want the girl to do from NBA range? It was awesome. It was freaking awesome, man. I love that. It fired everybody up in the building. We were so excited. And for a brief split second, we all thought, man, Sabrina might beat the best shooter on planet Earth. Ultimately, that was the... Did we really expect Sabrina to win? No, you put her up against the greatest shooter to ever touch a basketball. So how can you fault her for falling short when she had the best round of anybody? And
she would have been tied with all the dudes who went to the playoff in the men's competition. Nobody got more than 26 outside of Steph Curry.
And the thing that really plucks my nerves is there's just a lot of woman haters on this planet that don't want to give any of them props. Oh, she should have shot from the WNBA line. Shut the hell up, Kenny. Oh, she should have, let's make her shoot with an NBA-sized ball. Do you guys have brains? Do y'all, critically think at all? I was so proud of Sabrina. I thought she put on a show. I thought she performed her ass off, and I came away from it going, can we please put some respect on the women? This is the most talented women's basketball has ever been, and I am so excited for when Caitlin Clark gets to the WNBA and we can get some eyes on this product because it's going to be a lot of fun. These girls are ballers. They are freaking skilled. They are smart. They play good ball, and I think it is just so sad and pathetic that we continue to tear down these women for no reason other than the fact that they're not men. I thought it was really pathetic how Kenny phrased that and how he painted that picture. I was really disappointed with that. And so first and foremost, we can get to, because I have some changes for the All-Star game that I think we should make. First and foremost, can we get the haters out of the building, and can we put people that genuinely love the game and love ball on the broadcast? That's the first change I'd make.
Yeah, well, that's just a reality for all of basketball media, dude. There's so much unnecessary negativity. I'm not talking about fair criticisms of individual players because you have to do that. You hear the things that we say about Julius Randle. You can't be honest without being critical, but it is the blind and unwarranted hating of the sport as a whole that just permeates NBA media and takes the focus away from all of the beautiful things going on in any given basketball game, all of the strategy, all of the historically unparalleled skill, and it just devolves into the same toxic debates and the same stupid, beaten to death talking points about why things used to be better, and it's just very exhausting. And I really resent that about NBA media as a whole. Specifically with this, though, I think you're absolutely right. And I mean, that is another just horrible part of NBA media culture and sports media culture is just the way that people talk about women in sports. It really sucks. And obviously that speaks to a greater illness that has to be addressed. But Kenny's kind of an idiot, and I really don't know what he was talking about. And just to explain why you asked if we have brains when you're talking about her shooting with an NBA ball. That's so different from shooting from NBA distance because think about it, right? She's playing on the same basketball court, okay? The three-point line is just a little bit closer. Sabrina pulls from NBA range in games, right? Moving a few feet back is something that she already does within the context of the sport that she is playing. She can totally do that, and she did, and she stepped up, and she fucking balled. Changing the ball that you shoot with is now asking someone to rewire what they practice every single day for hours and hours on end, changing conditions like that, right? It'd be like asking somebody to hit with a different bat in baseball. It'd be like asking somebody to play with a different racket in tennis. It's just stupid, and it's not at all comparable to her shooting from NBA range, which she did again and got a score that would have tied anybody in the men's competition. So I agree. That was just disheartening, and it was stupid, and it was a bad look for the NBA media overall.
Yeah, the other change I would make is for the All-Star game specifically. Scott Van Pelt said this on Twitter, and I think he made a great point. If you want people to care about the game, have the players care about the game. And I don't mean that these guys got to go full bore Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl, lighting up Brian Mormon on a fourth down fake punt.
Yeah.
We ain't got to lick somebody, man. We ain't got to go full bore, full hard, crazy. But, I mean, dude, Luka's launching a 85-foot shot with 40 seconds left. It's like, can we have some semblance of a regular basketball game if the players... I guess.
Got the 2-for-1.
If the players play like it means something, the fans would watch it like it means something. But if the players play and don't care about the game, then we're not. And I'm not asking us to go, again, full stop, but can we play a little defense? Can we, here's my thing. Is like if somebody goes to the rim and blows by his guy, you don't have to contest it. Let the guy throw down a rim rattler. But can you pretend to play a little on-ball defense? And to me, it's like the Pro Bowler. It's like, if this is the product that we're going to get and it's going to be so lackluster, why do we even play the game, man? Why? I enjoyed the Rising Stars game more than the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed those festivities more. I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, I think that's obviously the problem. The question is, like, how do you solve that? What are the incentives? What are the changes to where this game that hasn't meant something for quite some time? And that's one thing that's a little bit weird about the outrage. Everybody's freaking out like this is the first time they've watched an All-Star game. Guys, the All-Star game sucks. All-Star events in sports suck. The Pro Bowl is unwatchable, is way worse off than NBA All-Star Weekend, which, by the way, also is bad. Like, I didn't watch the All-Star game. I watched the dunk contest, and I watched Steph, Sabrina, and, like, that was kind of it. And I love basketball. I'm addicted to basketball. This is its own kind of little, like, freak sideshow that nobody cares about, and we shouldn't get our hopes up for it. But if you are going to get guys to play like it means something, then how do you do that?
It's a good question. I don't know. People talked about the old MLB rule for the All-Star game, which I hate. I don't think that's the right move. I mean, I think it should be the better team gets, you know what I mean?
So to be clear, that is the winner of the All-Star game has home field advantage in the NBA Finals.
That being said, if we did do that, I mean, I think guys would play I think they'd play super hard. So
it'd be a real basketball game.
It would be an answer that would make it a real basketball game. Some have talked about changing the incentives from the in-season tournament and making the All-Star game. I think if we're going to legitimize the in-season tournament and make it its own entity and try to build it up as something that means something, then I think you have to keep those incentives for the in-season tournament. So it's either, I guess we're down to two options, Carson, and that's you change it drastically and we do something groundbreaking where we make the All-Star game mean more than it ever has before and let that determine where Game 7 is played, or we throw money at the players and say, hey, if y'all win this game, we're going to throw y'all a big old bag. So go out there and play like it means something. Play hard. And the money thing, I don't know if that would really move the needle because these guys already make so much money, every game. It's like, would that really move the needle? Like, that would change it, but I don't know. Like, to you, Carson, as a basketball purist, like, would you be okay with Game 7's location being decided by an All-Star game?
Listen, I think it's weird, but there has to be some incentive to play, and there just isn't right now. So I kind of like it, but honestly, my focus with All-Star Weekend is more about fixing the events outside of the game itself.
Like the dunk contest.
I think the game is just broken. The dunk contest is tough, too, because it's not like we don't have good athletes. We were talking about this with Pablo last week. It's just so hard to do a creative dunk now, right? Like Jacob Toppin does a 360 between the legs and he gets a 47. which, by the way, was just terrible judging. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were seeing with Jaylen Brown, where they were like, oh, 49, and then Jacob does something actually sick, and they're like, yeah, it doesn't really move the needle for me. I legitimately think we should do some sort of NBA players versus Instagram dunkers like competition. I think the best dunkers on the planet just are not in the dunk contest outside of Mac McClung, who is not an actual NBA player. He is a G League player who gets called up for the event. He hasn't appeared in an NBA game this year, and he's a sick dunker, and he actually makes the competition, but like, that's just the reality. The NBA stars, those days are past us. Stephen A. said LeBron ruined the dunk contest. No stars have participated in the dunk contest for the last 15 plus years. And like, I don't know, I guess he had a role in that because he didn't do it and stars used to do it. But I think it's a much more widespread cultural change throughout the league than you can just put on LeBron. So I would at least get like cooler dunkers in there, because really, what's the difference to, I mean, the average NBA fan between a Jacob Toppin in terms of name recognition and what's his face, Jordan Kilgannon, like a really cool dunker online? It doesn't matter.
Or like, I would say even if we have to dig into, because Mac entertained me, and a lot of people at the bar did not like the dunk contest. There was this one girl I was standing up there next to, and she goes, I think Jacob Toppin dunked, and she goes, this is the dumbest thing I've ever watched. And I was like, yep, pretty much.
Wow.
That's about right. I think you're right, dude. I mean, if it takes us getting actual dunkers, or if we have to go deeper into the G League depths, you're right. Like, if there's no name value recognition, who cares? Like, let's get Derrick Jones Jr. back out there. Let's bring out... And the reality of it is nothing will ever top what Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine did, and
Never.
It sucks, because if you were there for those two dunk contests, it was the greatest... Oh my God, man, I can't explain to you how happy those two dunk contests made me as a kid. Two of the greatest nights of my life. The reactions from the fans, the feeling at my house, it was nuts. Those two events were crazy. And so if... That's what sucks, is like, we know we have dunkers like that, and we have guys who are probably creative enough to do that. But I agree with you, man. If we're going to bring out quote unquote bums, or like guys who we just don't know.
Well, you're the only one calling them bums, to be clear.
It's like, if we're bringing out like non-NBA guys, who cares? Let's bring out just the best dunkers, period. If it's going to make it more entertaining, let's do that. Whatever's better for the product. The bottom line is that the three-point contest has completely surpassed it. If we do Steph,
you think
Sabrina,
so?
Oh my! I don't think it's close. I think the three-point contest laps the dunk contest.
Interesting. I don't know, dude. I still kind of like the dunk contest, and like, I think that Mac did some legit cool stuff. He did something actually original. I liked when he jumped over bro and then tapped the ball up to himself. I thought that was cool. Dunking over Shaq, obviously everybody dunks over everybody, but like, it was still pretty freaking sick with the reverse. I like the dunk contest. It's just not great. I hated that, dude. Oh my God. Jaylen Brown, an intellectual man, a social activist, former captain of his chess team, a Berkeley man, a scholar through and through, brought out Kai Cenat live on stream to dunk over a 5'3" man sitting down. It was really one of the weakest dunk performances ever from Jaylen, and he somehow got into the final, which was insane.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, just more on Kenny. Kenny said that he didn't know that Jaime Jaquez had bounce, and he said that he didn't know that Tyrese Halliburton could shoot from three at this frequency. Tyrese Halliburton, who has been having like a pull-up three-point shooting season that only Steph Curry can hit throughout NBA history.
That's the one aspect of All-Star Weekend that I do like, is when certain analysts open their mouth and you can just tell that they haven't watched ball this year or something like that, and but they do that is one of my
all
fun
the
aspects.
time.
True.
Anyways, real quick, before we move on, the events that I would like to see actually added to All-Star Weekend, things that could actually change the dynamics. The skill challenge sucks. We don't need that. The dunk contest and three-point contest are just such staples that they're always going to be around. And I think that, again, we can do more experimenting with the dunk contest. The three-point contest is what it is. It's really, there's nothing to change there. I would love to see the 1v1 tournament. I think that would be the coolest thing. That would be the coolest thing. And if you can get dudes in there, then they will play with pride. I would love to see it happen. I don't know if guys are too concerned about their reputations to even want it to be an event, but like, that would be a dream come true. What NBA fan doesn't want to watch KD and Kyrie play one-on-one? Like, it would be so, so entertaining. And the other thing that I would like to see is a 3-on-3 tournament. I would just like to see guys in that environment playing basketball in the half court with the super open spacing. And then what you do is you just like split up the full rosters, right? We have 24 guys. You turn that into 8 teams of 3. You set up a little bracket. Every game is only to 11, and there's consistent stakes then. So it's not a 48-minute game where it doesn't matter for 46 minutes no matter what. And, oh, what if we get into a blowout? Every single time, you're already close to crunch time. You're playing to 11, 1s and 2s. And I just think that that would be so much better for the stakes. It would be different. I don't care that it's not 5-on-5 basketball. The 5-on-5 basketball game sucks.
I concur. I think those would be awesome additions. And I think the players would play harder. And that's the point. That is what we're trying to reach. I think the one-on-one tournament would be immaculate, though, man. And can you imagine? Like, you get the banner. I'm the coldest dude in the league. I'm the best ISO guy in the league.
That would mean something. I would rather watch them play Duck, Duck, Goose. I would rather watch them play London Bridge is Falling Down than watch an entire NBA All-Star game.
100p.
100p. I would like to watch them play dodgeball. Like, what if we just started doing other sports? That would be more fun to me. What about a 7-on-7 football game at NBA All-Star Weekend? I think guys would try more in that. Micah Parsons played harder in the All-Star game than any of the NBA All-Stars. You know why? He actually has something to prove. He can actually show people, hey, I'm pretty sick at basketball. These guys have nothing to prove. They have nothing to gain with things as they're currently constructed. So there's a lot to change.